Welcome to Finding Your Way with Lori and Tonya. I'm Lori.
I'm Tonya.
So today we're going to talk about this concept of sometimes it's just better to be done than trying to make things perfect. So I had kept hearing this quote that just kept resonating with me about how we shouldn't let perfection be the enemy of good and not letting good be the enemy of done. And it really applied to me. And I think that's why it kept coming up and until I really dove a little bit deeper into why that was resonating with me. And absolutely with work with me, I'm notorious for saying in the past, well, if I can't do it right, I won't do it at all, you know? And so I've loosened up the reins on that a little bit, but just this week, a coworker of mine was having to record a presentation. She had planned to do it live, and then some things changed with the schedule, and she had to record it so that it could be shared out with everybody that participated. And she had never done that before. So she, of course, bumbled with it a little bit. And by 10 o'clock that morning, when she checked in, she was on her 150th take. And I said, okay, let me just share my little quote with you, because sometimes done is better than perfect. And I think that's just, and two, with me and like her, if it's showing up in work, how is it also showing up in other areas of your life?
And what's the underlying? I think there's a reason certain things have to be perfect, and we can't let it go. And there's this emotional tie that we don't even realize. And so one of mine, and I've shared this with Lori, when my boys were smaller, birthday parties had to be perfect. Like, we had 20 and 30 kids, the gift bags that I gave away, the cakes that were just themed up to the hilt. I remember one year it was a birthday party where it was themed, and the cake was, I had it like custom made, spent a ton of money on it. Everybody had capes, and that was part of their giveaway. And there was candy, and there were all these games. And one year I did a magician that came in the house, and I spent a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of stress that this had to be perfect. And I was not enjoying these birthday parties. And I think that towards the end, once I started down this path of self-enlightenment, I noticed that when I backed off of that theme of everything had to be perfect, and I was just going, okay, it's good. There's a cake ordered, there's a present bought, and it's wrapped, and the invitations have been sent out. We're good. We're done. And then I could breathe, and I actually enjoyed the parties. And perfect. My boys didn't know the difference. I mean, the big elaborate party, but they had the same feeling, whether it was a big elaborate party or whether it was just a few people and the cake was homemade. I mean, the feeling was loved, right? The feeling was being celebrated. And done gave me the opportunity to enjoy them and enjoy the situation. And when I look back now, birthdays when I was growing up were never a big deal. Sometimes were even forgotten. And so with that said, for me, it was a trigger, right? It was something that I had to do perfectly because I never had that on my own or never experienced it in a perfect way. And so I was making myself sick and crazy over trying to create this perfect celebration for my boys, when really and truly, if I had just done what I needed to do and it was done, I could step back and enjoy it. And the ones when I finally got to that and finally realized that, those parties were so much more fun because I did enjoy them. So, we're absolutely right. Done sometimes is so much better than perfect.
Yeah, because what is perfect anyway? I know when you were talking about the birthday party, I was thinking about when people get married. That's another one that everybody wants everything perfect and perfection. Right. And you hear Brideszilla because they're so worked up about having it their way and the exactly way they want it. And my wedding, it was very simple, very small. And I had somebody just recently tell me, we were at a wedding, and she said, your wedding was so sweet. And I think she felt that because I was not crazy. I mean, yeah, we had planned things, but it wasn't like I had to have it a certain way. And if it wasn't that certain way, I was just going to be destroyed. And I think sometimes we set ourselves up to strive for that perfection. And then we're so disappointed when we don't match the expectation. And so it is really looking at all areas of your life to see, and like you were saying, maybe you were trying to make up for what you didn't have. And so it is a little bit deeper. So when we do start looking at why do we feel like we have to be perfect? Because what is perfect anyway? What's perfect to me is very different than what's perfect from you and everybody. And so you're almost setting expectations of yourself that you might not can meet, and therefore going to be disappointed in yourself, and in the end not have that positive feeling and feel like you want to feel about whatever you're trying to perfect.
Absolutely. Well, and I think sometimes it's also giving yourself some grace. You have these grand ideas to start. For me, like, it's okay, I'm going to exercise 7 days a week, right? And then I'm going to exercise for 1 solid hour, 7 days a week. And first day, get my hour in. Second day, I'm like, oh, I'm only going to do 30 minutes. But that's not perfect enough. And so I've put this expectation on myself, and I've got to make it perfect when, okay, if I just do it 30 minutes or 45 or 20 or an hour, I've done it. Like, it's done. It might not be the whole hour, but I've done what I set out to do, which was the physical activity for the day. Perfect would have been an hour every day, but I did do something. And so I think giving ourselves some grace for doing something and getting something done is so much better than the expectation of that having to be perfect all the time.
Yeah, and I think Tonya and I have been on this journey to be better versions of ourselves, and so we've been on this journey together for 5 years or so now. And I think at the end of the day, if you really look at why you're trying to make something perfect, most roads lead back, when you keep digging and keep uncovering to figure out why you feel like it has to be perfect. Most roads lead back to this underlying feeling that a lot of us have of not feeling like we're worthy, not feeling like we're enough, and then trying to fill that in by doing things like trying to achieve a goal that's sort of unachievable.
Right. And I think that until we recognize letting go, and we can do it 2 ways, right? We can do what we've done and do the work because we didn't know that this is what we were striving for. We didn't know why we were striving for perfect. And then the work leads you to being perfect. But you can also go the opposite direction. You can also say, okay, Lori and Tonya said, done is better than perfect. So I'm done. I've painted this picture and I've put as much detail as I want, and it could use some more, but you know what? I'm tired and I'm just done for the day. And when you start being done, I do think that helps with the work. So I think this can be fluid. I think this can go both ways too.
Because I think both of us have had circumstances, even in this spiritual journey we've been on, that we almost beat ourselves up. Oh, I didn't meditate today. Oh, I didn't do my journaling today. Oh, I can't believe I didn't do that. And it's sort of the same thing, right? We were striving for perfection, to check all the boxes and do all the things, which was sort of counterintuitive to why we were doing the things in the first place.
And so I think it's just, when you're stressing about something, I think what we would like for you to get from this conversation is take a minute and ask yourself, is it good enough? It might not be perfect, but is it good enough? And if you can answer, yeah, I think it is, then be done. Let it go and move on to the next thing, or let it go so you can enjoy that thing. And I think if nothing else that you take away is just like with Lori's coworker, her saying that, 150 takes, can you imagine? And when you finally hear those words and you go, huh, yeah, you're right. So what? Just let it go.
Yeah.
If it's just okay, sometimes just okay is it, and done is so much better than perfect.
Yeah. That's right. So hopefully this helped y'all. It definitely was an eye-opening thing for both of us, because we both had circumstances in our life where we felt like we had to be perfect. And it's sort of freeing to not feel that way. To feel like, you know what, it's good enough. We're done.
Next. All right, listen, we hope you got something from this video. If you did, please subscribe to our channel. The more subscribers we have, the more people that we can get this message out to. Like, share it on Facebook, share it in any other methods that you can. Also, we have a group. We'd love for you to join us on Facebook. It's called the Positive Vibe Tribe. Thousands of folks in that group, and they're posting just such good nuggets of information and feel good posts every day. It's a great way to have some positivity in your news feed. If you have a question for us, we answer one-on-one questions. So highernavigation@gmail.com, and it's HIGHER navigation@gmail.com. Also check out our website. Highernavigation.com is our website. Take a look, see what you think. We'd love for you to share, for you to join us. We hope everybody has a great afternoon. Thank you.